Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Regas. I agree that people want to deal with the United States because of our values and that we've been a very generous country and that that's made a difference for so many people around the world. That's why I find it so distressing when there are reports that we're destroying 500 metric tons of food that could feed 1.5 million children a week, and we're destroying it because for no other reason than that the administration put a hold on getting that foreign assistance out to people, and so now it's spoiled. I mean, I don't think that's consistent with the values of the United States or consistent with American taxpayers and how they want to see their money spent. So I asked for a list of offices and bureaus affected by the personnel cuts that took place on Friday. I've not received anything yet, but my team has been able to uncover some of the cuts that are concerning. So I want to ask you what you know about some of those cuts. Are you aware that on Friday you fired the entire Office of Casualty Assistance? And just to be clear for people who are watching, this is an office that was set up after the Nairobi and Dar es Salaam al-Qaeda bombings in 1998 to assist family members of U.S. personnel and citizens who die overseas. The entire team was fired on Friday in the midst of trying to bring back an American citizen who had died overseas. I don't think the family thinks that that's a good firing. Were you aware of that?
Thank you, Senator. Yes, I was aware that function is being folded into another office.
And so how are we handling the body of the person who died overseas who no longer has somebody to help them? Could you please find an answer to that? I'm not going to ask you to answer that right now because I'm sure you don't know the answer. And we need to get accurate information. But are you aware that you fired members of the Fraud Prevention Office and your Consular Affairs Bureau, and you assured us that Consular Affairs would not be affected by these cuts?
So the individuals in consular affairs who are processing passports and adjudicating passports, that function was not touched. Other functions which have sort of a management remit and can be combined into other offices, we did find efficiencies and economies of scale to combine management functions across the department that were doing, auditing, human resources functions, billing that were resident in numerous bureaus were either consolidated up into the EX offices of each of the undersecretariats, and to a large extent, a number of them were moved and consolidated into the management bureau itself.
I would appreciate if you would provide the committee the information about how that reorganization is happening, since we have asked you for that information in the past. You mentioned the Bureau of Overseas Building Operations, and the chairman was asking about that. About 50% of that office was terminated. 5 civil servants out of 13 who handled not only architecture but who also serve as building code officials were terminated, as well as the 10 civil servants were ripped out of 14 in the office that manages space planning requirements. Do you know how many personnel were terminated in the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement? This is the bureau that's responsible for preventing drugs and criminals from reaching America.
Yes, so that bureau was combined with another bureau, so the essential function of the International Narcotics Bureau remains. It was just combined with another
So how
bureau.
many were fired?
I believe the entire office is my understanding.
So who's got the expertise that's lost from that office if they've all been fired?
So there was, I can give you the name of the combined office, but there were numerous offices at the department that had overlapping responsibilities and redundant capabilities.
And why is the department letting diplomats go who we've invested years in training in language skills? Some of those who have been let go are fluent in 5 or 6 languages. Was there an assessment of the expertise it was losing in these layoffs? And how was that assessment done? Is it a written evaluation? Is it an assessment of what the needs are in the future for the department?
Yes, so what we did is, when in the instance where offices were combined, you have what's called a competitive area, and each office is its own competitive area. So we did, this was the most complicated reduction in force ever conducted by the federal government, and we did it in consultation with the Office of Personnel Management. We actually hired them, the professionals there, to help us run this program. It's called a bump and retreat, and what you do is you take all of the, after asking your senior leadership, what are the functions that you need to carry out this mission, and what positions and what skill sets do you need, and what level of experience do you need to be able to execute on this mission? And you say you've got maybe, we only need 25 people in this office, but we're combining an office that has, total 75 people among the 3 offices. What OPM does is then take everyone's skills, experience, expertise, veterans preference, tenure, and they compete them against each other for each position that is in the combined area. So while there are people who have skills and experience who were unfortunately part of the reduction in force, you can sort of take some comfort to know no one ever wants to be the one that's receiving the reduction in force, but that the people who remain were the ones who ranked highest under this sort of merit systems process that ensured the highest skilled, the most tenured, the people with the highest number of years of experience and veterans preference were the people who remained.
And do you have anything written that shows how this process was done?
Yeah, certainly.
Can you provide the committee with that information?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.